Hey there, welcome to Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show, a show dedicated to progressive rock and other forms of rock music. So here we are, day 7 of my series, Progressive Rock Albums from the 1980s. So this is the 7th album we've done. The band I've chosen today is called Kayak. They're a Dutch band from the Netherlands, of course. The album is called Merlin. So I've not heard anything from these guys before. I don't know anything about them other than they're from Holland. And to be honest, I had no idea what to expect here. I didn't even know if it would be in English, to be honest with you. So anyways, my general overview of the album is that it's a Jekyll and Hyde album. That's the best way to describe it. The first half of the album is absolutely great, and the back half of the album, I don't even want to tell you where you should put it. Okay, so anyways, we'll try to be fair about this. So my assessment is that it's by and large, it's about half progressive, and the rest of it's kind of a poppy medley of different noises and sounds that you might get from different genres of music. Okay, and I'll explain that as we go along. So the group has been around for a fairly lengthy time. I chose this album, of course, because it comes from the 80s. I think this one's actually from 1981. The first track on the album, which is the title track, which is called Merlin, I liked it immediately. I thought, oh, this is great. Some great synthesizer effects. They use this kind of synthesizer to create this kind of weather effect, which is quite cool. I like it. Really atmospheric for the whole song. Like, that's the atmosphere of the whole song. It's a piano driven early on. Some really heavy guitars and drums kick in. The soloing on the guitar is very distinct. I liked it a lot. The production is excellent. The sound is really clear. Just really good album. At least this track is really good. The vocals are strong. The voice is in mid-range. It's not really high, but not really low. It's kind of a little higher than mid-range, like higher than the average male voice, I think. The keyboards are really good on this track. I like the guitar solo quite a bit, and it's a pretty heavy track. Like, this is, to me, it's kind of borderline progressive metal. It's not metal. It's not the same as yesterday's Fate's Warning, which was really good. This is a little less heavier than that, a little more classical feel to it. So it's a little more British feeling kind of progressive rock, but it does have some elements on it that are American progressive rock. So then we go to the second song, Tintagel, or Tintagel, however you want to say it. A nice classical piano opening. I liked it a lot. The vocals are in John Anderson range, a little bit higher than the previous song. But it's a bit of a mellow song, but it's by no means bad. It's not ballad-like. It's not it's not like really like mellow in a kind of boring way. It's a really solid track. I didn't give it quite as high a mark as Merlin, but I liked it nevertheless. The next track out, The Sound of Stone. The Sword in the Stone. Where do I get that first part from? I don't know. Anyways, opens pretty heavily. Nice drums, nice guitar, nice melody throughout the whole song. The vocals are in that kind of normal range, not too high, but not too low. The key part is really good. I like that a lot, and the voices add to the kind of atmosphere of the song. There's voices talking towards the end of the song. I think they really add to the total atmosphere of the song, which is kind of a bit on the moody side, I think. But a great track. I liked it, so I gave it a 6. The next track is King's Enchanter. This has got a heavy guitar opening. and just lots of like really heavy parts to it. It's got an almost funky part to it in the. It's got not a funky part. Sorry, an almost folkish part to it. Kind of an English sounding folky. It's almost Tull-like. Like this is the first part of the album where I hear some influence from maybe Jethro Tull here. Like it's got that kind of folkiness that you might find on maybe Songs from the Wood or Minstrels in the Gallery type of thing. Like really, I thought, wow, this is getting so good. At this point, I'm in love with the album, and I actually had been thinking about doing a part at the end of the series, because we sometimes with the end of series we'll do like a honorable mentions, but since these are the first times listening to it, there's really no honorable mentions to do. So I was going to do a part at the end where I rank all 31 of the albums that I listened to for the month, and I probably will do that. So then you would have after 31 days of having listened to all 31, I was going to just do a ranking for the last episode on where I seen them in the thing, and I'm probably going to do that. So I thought, wow, this one is so good, it's going to be right near the top of the heap. Well, little did I know that fourth track was going to be the last good track on the album. From this point, it just spiraled into the toilet. The whole album just spiraled out of control. I went from thinking about putting this, like I was going to put this on my to buy list right behind my white wing that I did for Ben's album challenge the other day, and now I don't want nothing to do with it. That's how quickly something can spiral out of control, eh? So the next track is called Nian, Lady of the Lake, and I thought, well, it's a nice title, so maybe it's going to be something whispery, like proggy, like that you might get from Genesis. But so it's kind of okay. I'm just going to move it up a little closer because my notes are a little bit too far away for me to see. So it's kind of not sure how to describe this particular track. It's got a piano opening. It's very mellow. The vocals are in a kind of ballad and poppy type feel to it. Yeah, the keyboards are not that great either. The overall feel of the song is just just a very poppy song, and gives me a feeling of a ballad. It's not. I don't think it is a ballad, but it gives me that feel. So I gave this one a 3. Now, the rest of the album tanked. I don't even know. To be honest, I don't even know if I want to do this rest of this part because it's so unmemorable, you know. So the next track is called Seagull. This is a not good track, at least not by not by Prog standards. Like, you got to remember, in context with what we're doing here on this series, we're listening to albums that we want to hear prog from. That's what we're looking for. This is by no means prog at all, and so it has this kind of country sound to it, opening, and then the piano and the piano make it a little bit more mellow, and it's kind of this country twang to it as well. The twin vocals lend the atmosphere to that whole country twang thing. Yeah, I would say this is just an attempt at a kind of country rock ballad even. So like it's got 3 strikes against it. Goodbye. However, I did like it better than the next 2 tracks. This just keeps getting worse, right? So the next one's called Boogie Heart. As soon as I seen that, I said, I was thinking, well, maybe it could be like some boogie is really good. Like some people know how to play it, and even some prog bands do it well. But this doesn't measure up. It's got a poppy kind of piano and drums bit to it, a more of a country feel. It's like a country band trying to do a boogie song. It's not going together very well here. And it's almost, and then there's a part towards the middle end part where it kind of Springsteen like with the piano and the keys. Kind of reminds me of Born to Run, at that part that they do the piano and keys on. Yeah, which I don't mind from Bruce Springsteen, but when I'm listening for that, that's what I'm listening for. But this is not even like a good Bruce Springsteen. So I gave this a 1. I think this is the only song so far in this series that I've given a 1 to, and it's going to be equal here on the next song, which I also gave a 1 to. Just a ballad. It's just a ballad. I don't even want to say much more about it. So at this point now, I've had 4 bad songs in a row. The last 2 I just wanted to get through. So I kind of was listening to them, but they didn't really. I thought, well, maybe they might change back to what you had at the beginning. Sometimes bands will throw some stuff in the middle and then kind of trying to end with the same stuff they started with. Not lucky enough for that here. So then you got Can't Afford to Lose, another poppy kind of upbeat. This one is a little different. It's a poppy song, but it has a bit of an upbeat tempo to it. And it's almost Phil Collins like, to be honest with you. That's what I feel here. It's kind of almost like a Phil Collins sound to it. There was something else about that I wrote somewhere. Oh yeah, okay, on that first track, the Nean by the Lake, that's what I couldn't read. It's in the same style that you get that song Ripples off of Trick of the Tail. It's in that style, like with the piano and everything, but nowhere near as good. Like it's like the poor sister of it, and like really poor sister. But that's the kind of feel it is that it gives me. That was what I wanted to say earlier, and I couldn't remember. Okay, so then the last one called Love's a Glow. Well, now, I didn't even want to listen to this track. I almost wanted to just, that's it, had enough. But I said I would listen, so I did. So it's kind of catchy at the beginning. I like the brush drum effects. They were using those drums that a lot of jazz musicians use. It's just basically a brush that they use to create that brush sound. And then there's a bit of some poppy sounds to it. It's better than the previous 3 songs. It ended better than the previous 3 songs. This one, I can maybe, if this one had come earlier in this back half here, like if it had come 6th or even 5th, it probably would have got a higher number. It only got a 2 here. It probably might have got a 3 or maybe even possibly as high as a 4, but I doubt it. But so anyways, it's a bit of a disappointment. After such a positive start, I thought, oh wow, this stuff is really good. Like, why haven't I heard of this band before? And now I know why. So yeah, Jekyll and Hyde, the first half of the album, super. If we could buy half an album, I'd be happy, but we can't. The album's connected together. So the second half of the album, by no means is it great. No means. It's like, even if we weren't listening to it as a prog album, if we were just listening to it for, it's like just bought some album, we weren't even classifying it before we started, we wouldn't really like this too much. So anyways, so there you have it. That was Kayak. The album is called Merlin from 1981, on day 7 of progressive rock albums from 1980. Sorry, got a little tongue-tied there. So please, if you like this video, please like and subscribe. It's much appreciated, and we'll be back tomorrow on day 8 with another group and another album. It's been an interesting go so far. I've had a little bit of everything. I've had a few that I knew were going to be good, and they were good. I had a couple that I wasn't sure about, and they weren't that great. And then I had a couple that surprised me, that were much better than I thought they were going to be. And I've had a couple that I thought were going to be better that just took the dive off the diving board. So anyways, again, I hope you liked it. We will see you again tomorrow on day 8 for album number 8. Okay. Have a good night and talk to you later. Bye.